15 years and 2 state lines since he'd seen that little church sign. Midnight rain on an old Ford hood. He came back home like he said he never would. He pulled the handle but the door stayed still. The windows glowed from the street lamp hill. He saw the pew where his mama prayed, and all the promises he never kept. No preacher's voice, no Sunday song, just a tired man who had been gone too long. The church was closed, but heaven was open. The lights were dark, but mercy was waiting. He couldn't walk through that old wooden door, so grace came out and found him where he was, in the front seat with nowhere left to go. He thought he was too late, too far, too broken. The church was closed, but heaven was open. His hand found a Bible beneath the seat, worn at the edges from years of belief. His mama's name on the title page, and one blue line that had never faded. Beside the verse she had written small, "Son, His mercy is stronger than every fall." He hadn't prayed since they laid her down, but the words came softly in that silent town. No perfect prayer, no holy sound, just Jesus, please, don't leave me now. The church was closed, but heaven was open. The lights were dark, but mercy was waiting. He couldn't walk through that old wooden door, so grace came out and found him where he was, in the front seat with nowhere left to go. He thought he was too late, too far, too broken. The church was closed, but heaven was open. The rain slowed down, the sky turned gray, and peace came in before the break of day. Then the caretaker crossed the yard with a ring of keys and an old work coat. He said, "Son, I can let you in." The stranger looked up through his tears. "Thank you, sir." But he already did. The church was closed, but heaven was open. The lights were dark, but mercy was waiting. He couldn't walk through that old wooden door, so grace came out and carried him home, in the front seat where his heart finally broke. He learned he wasn't too late, too far, too broken. The church was closed, but heaven was open. Now every Sunday in the second pew, he holds that old Bible marked in blue. And when somebody says, "I've gone too far," he tells them, "Heaven is open, right where you are." Bus rolled in at 9:30 by the diner in the county line. Eli Carter stepped down alone to the town he'd sworn he'd never call home. The barber stopped with his razor raised. Miss Annie watched through the window pane. Every face remembered his name, every broken promise, every night of shame. He didn't ask them to understand, just carried one old suitcase in his hand. Mercy came walking down Main Street in a faded coat and dusty boots. It didn't make a speech or ask the town to believe. It paid an old debt, it repaired a broken step, it let a changed life tell the truth. Mercy came walking down Main Street, and Grace was wearing Eli's shoes. At Miller's store he laid down 45 for a tab still open since '99. Old Mr. Miller said that debt is gone. Eli answered, maybe yours, but not my wrong. Across the road stood the little white church. Its porch leaned low from years of hurt. By evening every board was straight. He swept the dust and repainted the gate. Some folks watched from across the square, waiting for the old Eli to appear. Mercy came walking down Main Street in a faded coat and dusty boots. It didn't make a speech or ask the town to believe. It paid an old debt, it repaired a broken step, it let a changed life tell the truth. Mercy came walking down Main Street, and Grace was wearing Eli's shoes. At the far end of town on a weathered porch sat the widow of the man he'd heard. Eli stopped outside her gate with his hat held low and his hands that shook. He said, I know I can't erase the empty chair or the years of pain, but if there's work that I can do, I'll spend what's left making something new. She looked at him for a long, long while, then opened the gate with a tired smile. She said, I prayed you'd find a better road. I just never thought I'd see you come home. Mercy came walking down Main Street in a faded coat and dusty boots. It didn't make a speech or ask the town to believe. It paid an old debt, it repaired a broken step, it stayed when leaving would be easy to do. Mercy came walking down Main Street, and Grace was wearing Eli's shoes. One honest word, one wrong made right, one humble step, one day at a time. Mercy came walking down Main Street and changed more than one man's life. A little boy watched Eli sweep the old church steps on Sunday week. He tugged his mama's sleeve and said, is that the man the whole town feared? She watched him hold the door for someone who once would never speak his name. No, son, that was the man he used to be. What you're seeing now is what mercy looks like. calls on a Tuesday night, glowing beside the kitchen light. He watched her name fade from the screen and thought, I'll call when this shift is through. But morning brought his sister to the door with red eyes he'd never seen before. And all the words he meant to say became one more debt he couldn't repay. For 3 long weeks he couldn't press play. Then one midnight he heard her say, the last voicemail from Mama wasn't a good goodbye. She said, when you can't find your faith, you can borrow mine tonight. You don't have to sound like Sunday, just tell Jesus where you are. The last voicemail from Mama put a light back in his heart. Her voice talked first of ordinary things, the rain out back and the early spring, the neighbor's dog, the leaking roof, the apple pie she'd saved for him. Then her breathing slow between the words, and every sentence started to hurt. She said, son, I know you're tired inside, but God has never left your side. No matter how far you think you've gone, His mercy knows the road you're on. The last voicemail from Mama wasn't a good goodbye. She said, when you can't find your faith, you can borrow mine tonight. You don't have to sound like Sunday, just tell Jesus where you are. The last voicemail from Mama put a light back in his heart. He slid down beside the kitchen chair with her old Bible resting there. No church clothes, no perfect line, just a broken son and borrowed faith that night. He said, Jesus, I don't know where to start, but Mama said, you know my heart. The last voicemail from Mama became his first prayer in years. She was already home with Jesus, but her faith was still right there. He didn't have to sound like Sunday, he just told him where he'd been. The last voicemail from Mama led him home to God again. He still keeps that message on his phone, not because he can't let go, but when someone says I can't pray, I don't know the words to say. He smiles and tells them what she said. When you can't find your faith tonight, you can borrow mine. His father's Bible wrote in the glove box, under old receipts and a broken watch. He brought it home when they laid Dad down, and carried it through every mile in town. 3 years since he and his boy last spoke. One hard sentence and a door slammed closed. An invitation lay beside the wheel. Saturday, Dad, I hope you'll still come. He read those words at every red light, then told himself some wounds need more time. The Bible in the glove box fell open in his hands, to a line about a father's heart turning to his son again. He had crossed 1,000,000 miles, but never crossed that hurt, till God drew a road back home in the margins of his word. The Bible in the glove box turned his heart toward home. At 2:13 outside Little Rock, thunder shook the cab and the highway stopped. He reached inside to find the map, and that old Bible landed in his lap. One page was marked in pencil gray, a verse about hearts being turned again. Beside it in his father's hand were words he never thought he'd understand. Son, pride made a stranger out of me. Don't hand that silence to your family. The Bible in the glove box fell open in his hands, to a line about a father's heart turning to his son again. He had crossed 1,000,000 miles, but never crossed that hurt, till God drew a road back home in the margins of his word. The Bible in the glove box turned his heart toward home. Heard repentance in those faded strokes. His father couldn't change the years behind, but he had left a better road to find. By Friday noon he reached his boy's place. Folding chairs were stacked beside the gate. He stepped down with the Bible in his hand and said, "Son, I should have been a better man." His boy stood still, then pulled him near and whispered, "Dad, I saved you a seat." The Bible in the glove box lay open in his hands, and the heart of one old father reached a son through one more man. Change the miles behind him, but he could choose the road ahead. God drew a road back home through the words his father left. The Bible in the glove box brought a father home again. Now a wedding picture rides beside that worn-out Bible every night, and when the highway bends and rolls, he remembers which way leads him home. She was 19 when the words went wrong. One slammed door, then she was gone. Her father stood in the gravel drive, watching two red taillights fade from sight. He found her picture beside the phone and sat in the kitchen there alone. Then every evening when daylight fell, he turned on the light above the porch rail. The neighbor said, "She may not come around." He said, "Then let that light be waiting anyhow." The porch light never went out through the winter and the rain. It burned beside an open door, and her father spoke her name. Every night he asked the Lord to guide her through the dark. The porch light never went out, and neither did his heart. One year became 3, then 5. Christmas cards came back unsigned. Her room stayed just the way she'd left, a faded quilt across the bed. He fixed the hinge, repainted the wall, and kept her number through it all. Some nights he heard a car slow down, but it always passed on through the town. Still he prayed, "Lord, wherever she may be, let her know there's still a home with me." The porch light never went out through the winter and the rain. It burned beside an open door, and her father spoke her name. Every night he asked the Lord to guide her through the dark. The porch light never went out, and neither did his heart. And one cold night near 2:30, a set of headlights came into view. An old car stopped beside the gate, and she stepped out with a worn suitcase. She stood beneath that fateful light, older now with tired eyes. She said, "Dad, I don't know what to say. I lost myself somewhere along the way." He crossed the porch without a word, held her close before she could finish. Then he said, "Child, I left that light for you, not for an explanation." She looked behind him through the door at the home she'd been afraid to ask for. And for the first time in all those years, she let forgiveness hold her there. The porch light never went out through the winter and the rain. It burned beside an open door till his daughter came again. Every night he asked the Lord to guide her through the dark. The porch light never went out, and neither did his heart. Some love waits, some love stays, some love keeps alive through the longest night. Now every evening when daylight ends, two shadows move behind those curtains, and before she turns the hallway down, she leaves that same porch light shining out for anybody trying to come home. Kitchen clock said 12:15. A half-full bottle stood between a wedding picture and a note in his little girl's uneven strokes. Daddy, Mama says we need some time. I left my red coat hanging by the line. Please come home when you're ready to stay. He read those words, then looked away. He'd promised before, he'd sworn he could stop, but every promise ended back at that bottle top. That was the night the whiskey lost, not because the warning stopped, not because one prayer erased every scar and every cost. It lost when he said, I need help tonight, and reached for a hand instead of another glass. That was the night the whiskey lost, when he quit fighting alone. There was a number on a folded card from a church room meeting he'd never gone to. A man named Joe answered on the third ring, said, you don't have to explain everything. He said, pour it out and leave the light on. I'll be there before the night's too far gone. For the first time Ray didn't say I'm fine. He opened the door and told the truth that night. No thunder rolled, no angel appeared, just two tired men and the first honest tears. That was the night the whiskey lost, not because the warning stopped, not because one prayer erased every scar and every cost. It lost when he said, I need help tonight, and reached for a hand instead of another glass. That was the night the whiskey lost, when he quit fighting alone. 30 days became 92. Some mornings old temptation broke through. He learned to call before the fall and show up when he felt nothing at all. He prayed in rooms with folding chairs, found grace in stories shared in there. And every week he wrote his little girl, Daddy's still learning, but I'm doing the work. 6 months later by the county lake, she ran to him with that red coat waving. He knelt down low and held her tight. She asked, Daddy, are you staying this time? He didn't promise what no man can know. He said, one day at a time, but I'm not alone. That was the night the whiskey lost, not because the battle stopped, but every day he chose the road that led him farther from the dark. It lost when he said, I need help tonight, and found that faith could sound like asking for a hand. That was the night the whiskey lost, when he quit fighting alone. One honest call, one open door, one day sober, then one day more. Now every Thursday at 7 o'clock he parks beneath that church room light. And when a trembling stranger says, I don't think I can win this fight, Ray pulls out a chair and tells him, you don't have to win tonight, you just don't have to fight alone. Tommy hadn't worn that Sunday coat since the winter they laid Sarah low. He kept her Bible beside the bed, but never opened the church doors again. Then his little girl came down the stairs in a blue dress with a ribbon in her hair. She said, "Daddy, I know it may be hard, but Mama always said that's where healing starts." He looked at her, then reached for his keys, and that old Ford started like a prayer finding its feet. Sunday morning coming through the cracks in a tired old heart. Golden light on the weathered pews, waking what he thought was gone. He walked in carrying Friday's weight, and walked out breathing something new. When the night had held on long enough, Sunday morning came shining through. Oh, Mr. James held open the door, didn't ask where Tommy had been before, just shook his hand and showed him a place 2 rows back from the window pane. His daughter sat where Sarah once did, swinging her feet like a 6-year-old kid. Then the sunlight crossed that empty chair, and for the first time peace met him there. He didn't forget, he didn't leave love behind. He just found that grief could make a little room for light. Sunday morning coming through the cracks in a tired old heart. Golden light on the weathered pews, waking what he thought was gone. He walked in carrying Friday's weight, and walked out breathing something new. When the night had held on long enough, Sunday morning came shining through. Smiled, said, "Daddy, you looked happy for a little while." He tightened his hands around the wheel, afraid that joy meant letting go. She said, "Mama would have smiled today," and something heavy gave way. He looked toward heaven through the windshield blue and said, "Lord, thank you for carrying us through." Sunday morning coming through the cracks in a healing heart. Golden light on the road ahead, showing them a place to start. They drove in carrying Friday's weight, and drove home breathing something new. When the night had held on long enough, Sunday morning came shining through. A little faith, a little faith, a little light, a little light, a little hope after a long, long night. Sunday morning coming through. Now Tommy gets there before the doors, and holds them open like James did before. When someone pauses outside in the rain, he smiles and says, "You don't have to explain." Then morning light crosses every pew, and Sunday comes shining through. They took his belt and his wedding ring, his worn out boots and most everything, wrote a number down beside his face, then shut the door on a narrow space. For 3 long days nobody said his name. Just stand right there and sign this page. He stared at the cracks in the painted wall and thought maybe God had forgotten him too. He knew what he'd done, he knew what it cost, and every steel door sounded like all hope was lost. But he knew my name at the county jail, when all they saw was where I failed, when I was a number behind a door. He saw the man I had been before. He didn't call me innocent, he didn't say the wrong was right, but he knew my name at the county jail and stayed with me that night. On Thursday morning, an old man came with a silver cross and a weathered face. He pulled up a chair outside the bars and said, "Eddie, how are you holding up?" Eddie looked up like he'd heard a ghost, said, "Nobody here calls me that anymore." The chaplain smiled and opened the word, said, "Son, heaven never forgot what you were called." He didn't ask for a polished prayer, he just sat in silence and met him there. But he knew my name at the county jail, when all they saw was where I failed, when I was a number behind a door. He saw the man I had been before. He didn't call me innocent, he didn't say the wrong was right, but he knew my name at the county jail and stayed with me that night. Weeks went by and the court date came. He stood and heard the sentence read. He didn't ask the judge to look away or blame the road that brought him there. That evening he wrote his daughter a page, the first true words in 1,000 days. He said, "I can't undo the hurt I've made, but I'm asking God to change the man who carries my name." A month went by, then a letter came. The envelope held his daughter's name. Inside she wrote, "I don't know when, but maybe someday we can talk again." He held those words against his chest and whispered through the bars, "Lord, help me become the father she remembers in her heart." He knew my name at the county jail, and he knew every place I failed. He didn't remove the road ahead, but he gave me strength to walk each step. He didn't call me innocent, he taught me how to face the truth. He knew my name at the county jail and called me something new. Not a number, not the worst thing I had done. Still a father, still a soul worth reaching for. Years later, Eddie came back through those same gray doors, but wearing different shoes. He sat beside a frightened man who hadn't heard his name in days. He pulled up a chair, opened the Word, and said, "Michael, how are you holding up?" Reverend Samuel locked the church every Sunday after dark, carried folding chairs inside, then walked the gravel parking lot. His coat was thin around the sleeves, his Bible worn along the spine, and every pair of shoes he owned leaned slightly toward the right-hand side. 40 years on country roads, carrying hope from door to door. The preacher's worn-out shoes never stood beneath bright lights. They crossed hospital halls and porches late at night. They walked beside the broken when the world had walked away. The preacher's worn-out shoes carried mercy every day. By 81 his hands would shake when he turned the Bible page. Some Sundays only 12 folks came to hear what he still had to say. He told his wife one winter night, "I wonder if I did enough. I preached so long to empty pews. Maybe my voice never reached that far." She held his hand and softly said, "Only heaven knows where every seed has spread." The preacher's worn-out shoes never stood beneath bright lights. They crossed hospital halls and porches late at night. They walked beside the broken when the world had walked away. The preacher's worn-out shoes carried mercy every day. Tuesday morning Samuel left before the sun had cleared the trees. His wife placed those old shoes beneath the wooden pulpit by his seat. By 10 o'clock the road was lined with cars from counties far and wide, and every person brought a story Samuel never knew had survived. A woman said, "He brought us food when my 3 boys had none." A gray-haired man said he found me drunk and stayed till morning came. A former prisoner held his Bible with Samuel's writing on the page and whispered, "He called me brother before I learned to change." Then a young man walked toward the front with tears he couldn't hide. He said, "When I was 17, he talked me through the longest night." The preacher's worn-out shoes had traveled farther than he knew. Through every life he stopped to love, the gospel kept walking too. They never stood beneath bright lights, but heaven saw each step he made. The preacher's worn out shoes carried mercy all the way. One quiet prayer, one open door, one faithful step, then one step more. The following Sunday, that young man stood behind the pulpit made of wood. He looked down at Samuel's empty shoes, then opened up the Bible. Before he spoke, he bowed his head and said, Lord, let me walk as faithfully as he did. He signed the papers at 3:45, left his wedding ring beside the lawyer's door. His wife had listened to all he could say, but some broken trust needs more than one day. He drove past the house where his daughter slept, past the promises he had never kept. At the edge of town, beneath the fading sign, he whispered, Lord, I've ruined every life but mine. The sun went down, the road turned black, and every mile ahead felt like something he could never take back. Grace in the rearview mirror, mercy fading with the town. Every light he left behind him looked like love he had let down. But grace was not the road behind, or the life he couldn't save. It was riding in the silence, giving him another day. He thought grace was in the rearview mirror, but grace was with him all the way. At a roadside motel outside of Boone, he found his daughter's picture beneath the moon. On the back she'd written in a childish hand, Daddy, I still pray you'll be a better man. He found a job above a hardware store, went to meetings every Thursday after 4, and every Friday mailed a letter home, never asking them to answer the phone. He didn't ask God to erase what had been. He asked for the strength not to become that man again. Grace in the rearview mirror, mercy fading with the town. Every light he left behind him looked like love he had let down. But grace was not the road behind, or the life he couldn't save. It was riding in the silence, giving him another day. He thought grace was in the rearview mirror, but grace was with him all the way. 6 months later, an envelope came with his daughter's writing beneath his name. Mom says you're trying, and I think I believe it too. Maybe someday I can come and visit you. He held that page against his chest and finally understood. Grace had never stayed behind him, it had followed where it could. Grace was never in the rearview mirror. Mercy never left that road. It met him in the honest work and every truth he finally told. Grace did not erase the past or return each wasted day. It stayed beside a changing man and taught him a better way. He thought grace was in the rearview mirror, but grace was leading all the way. A year went by before a car pulled in. His daughter stepped out with a cautious grin. She crossed the gravel and took his hand. Daddy, show me who you are now. The waiting room was nearly dark. A vending machine, a plastic chair. His wife's blue coat lay in his lap, but she was somewhere down the hall. For 30 years she'd held his hand through every loss and every plan. Now all he had were folded hands and words that would not come. He tried to pray the way he'd heard, but fear had taken every word. Heaven still hears a whisper when a heart can barely speak. When all you have is Jesus and the strength to breathe His name. You don't have to raise your voice, you don't have to find the perfect words. When your faith is down to one small sound, heaven still hears a whisper. A nurse came through at 3:30 and softly said, "You can sit with her." The room was filled with quiet machines and mourning waiting at the blinds. He took her hand beneath the sheet. It felt so small inside of his. He wanted to promise she'd be fine, but promises weren't his to give. So he leaned close beside her ear and gave to God the only prayer still there. Heaven still hears a whisper when a heart can barely speak. When all you have is Jesus and the strength to breathe His name. You don't have to raise your voice, you don't have to find the perfect words. When your faith is down to one small sound, heaven still hears a whisper. No thunder shook the ceiling, no answer filled the room, but peace sat down beside him, stayed there through the unknown. He didn't know what morning held or what the doctor would say. He only knew that in the silence he was not alone that day. Heaven still hears a whisper when a soul is tired and weak, when all you have is Jesus and the strength to breathe His name. You don't have to raise your voice, you don't have to hide your fear. When your faith is down to one small sound, heaven is already near. Heaven still hears a whisper. One name, one breath, one prayer is enough. The morning light crossed through the blinds, His hand was still holding hers. And when she opened tired eyes, He couldn't find a thing to say. She pressed His fingers in her hand and whispered softly, Jesus. Two weary voices, one quiet prayer, and heaven heard them there. There's a road beyond the county line where the lost come walking one at a time. Some arrive with nothing left to prove, some carry years they wish they could lose. One man came from a church locked tight, one followed home by a porch light, one held a Bible worn and old. Every one of them was looking for a road, not a road that hides the past, but one where grace can meet you at last. Come back to the mercy road, where the weary don't walk alone, where every mile you thought was wasted can still lead your heart back home. You don't have to know the ending, you just have to take one step. Come back to the mercy road, grace is waiting farther up ahead. There's a mother's voice on an old safe phone saying, son, you are never too far gone. There's a number scratched on a folded card and a trembling hand learning to ask for help. There's a man behind a county door who heard his name and became something more. There's a preacher's shoes beneath a wooden stand, still teaching someone how to serve again. Every story bears a scar, but scars don't tell you how far mercy reaches. Come back to the mercy road, where the weary don't walk alone, where every mile you thought was wasted can still lead your heart back home. You don't have to know the ending, you just have to take one step. Come back to the mercy road, grace is waiting farther up ahead. Some roads lead back to family, some lead toward responsibility, some don't restore what yesterday took, but teach a man to live by a different truth. Some prayers come loud on a Sunday morning, some barely rise above a hospital floor. But heaven has never needed perfect words to hear a heart reaching for the Lord. Maybe you're standing where one of them stood, outside a closed door, thinking nothing change. Maybe your hands are empty, maybe your faith is small, but mercy does not ask how far you had to fall. It only says, take the next step. And when you cannot see the way, grace will meet you there. Come back to the mercy road. You were never meant to walk alone. Every mile you thought was wasted can still lead your heart back home. You don't have to fix the ending, you just have to take one step. Come back to the mercy road. Grace is waiting farther up ahead. One honest prayer, one open door, one faithful step, then one step more. At sunrise they were walking there, different stories, different prayers. No one carried the same load, but every heart had found the road. The church door opened, the porch light shone. A father held his Bible close, and somewhere in the morning glow, a weary soul took one step home. Come back to the mercy road. There's room for you.